I love how I just joined and we're already America bashing. Welcome to my life, okay? This is everything becomes America bashing really fast. And I'm not particularly patriotic. It just feels cheap at a certain point to keep America bashing all the time. So every once in a while, I gotta defend it. Not because I think America's right, just because I think Europeans, you're not as good as you think you are, okay? I don't have a culture? What are you talking about? We have all the culture. America, the beautiful. America has culture. It's not an admirable culture, but it's culture. And that's our whole thing, is that we have all the cultures. We have Nicaraguan culture, Canadian culture, French culture, Japanese culture, Chinese culture, German culture. We have all of them, together. And it turns out when you take all the cultures of the world and put them together, it turns out shitty, it's not good. That's the problem. We have too much culture, if anything. We always talk about integration and how we should all come together as a society because we're all just people alone in this cruel, mad world. So we should stop focusing on our differences and we should live together in harmony. We tried that. We did that. America brought all those cultures together and said, you know what? Melting pot. Little bit of Africa, little bit of Asia, little bit of Australia. And it turns out when you take all the cultures and you put them together, it's a goddamn madhouse. They shouldn't mix. That's what I guess the takeaway from America is the culture shouldn't be mixing like this, okay? It's not good. They don't sit well. That's like if you want dinner and you're like, let's get some tacos, but also fondue and put some candy canes on top of that. You're gonna have indigestion, a big old tummy ache. Don't do it. We fucked up, okay? We tried to put it all together and it's a bad recipe. This is a bad recipe. Your food should not touch. And that's culture, I guess. I don't know. That got real alt-right, real fast. But that's not, I don't know. Think about it. It's funny because the people who always say, get those aliens out of here. We don't need all those immigrants coming in, bringing in their culture. We need to keep America, America. I say it's the exact opposite, okay? We don't need America to be America. You think we'd have all this racial injustice in the States if we had no races in the States? Correct, we would not. Clearly, all this culture has been a problem for us. We failed the test, okay? I guess that's the point. We failed the test. We were like, let's see if we can coexist. And it turns out Americans can't. So I say, stop trying. It was a noble ambition, but clearly Americans are not responsible enough to play with the toy that is diversity. It's like when you're a little kid and you're like, hey, you want to go to your friend's house? Little Timmy's got the PS5, and you're like, I'd love to go. And then as soon as you go there, you punch little Timmy in the face and take away his shoes. And they're like, you know what? You don't get to go play with Timmy anymore. Yeah, but he has the PS5. Yeah, but you've shown that you're not responsible enough. And that's America. That is our culture. And God damn it, I will not have you negate it. I love how I just joined and we're already America bashing. Welcome to my life, okay? This is everything becomes America bashing really fast. And I'm not particularly patriotic, but it gets, it feels easy. It just feels cheap at a certain point to keep America bashing all the time. So every once in a while, I gotta defend it. Not because I think America's right, just because I think Europeans, you're not as good as you think you are, okay? All of you want to talk shit on America all the time, oh my God, you're so terrible. You don't even have culture. Meanwhile, you consume everything we put out there. You know how many people I know who learned English watching Friends? It wasn't even that great of a show. The people who originated English are right across the river from you guys, and they made a habit of going into new places and kind of spreading their ability to teach English to people by force. And you still learned English from watching Friends, and you're gonna act like you don't love America, okay? You do. Oh, but America has no culture. Yes, it does, okay? It's not a good one, but we have a culture. If we didn't have a culture, you'd have nothing to complain about, okay? The things you don't like about America are the result of our culture. If we didn't have a culture, we'd be completely unidentifiable. We'd be like Kosovo. As a result of this culture, you don't even have a national. What are you talking about? We don't have a national dish. Have you had burgers before? check and mate, okay? That's why we eat burgers now, is because we were overwhelmed from all the options that we had from all the culture. We have too many. You can't go to the opera every night, put on a suit and tie, put on those uncomfortable shoes so you can sit there and listen to dead people's music. You can do it. You'll feel real cultured. You'll feel real fancy. And the first time you do it, you're like, look at me. And then like the seventh time you do it, you're like, the world I live in, how cultured that I can just constantly go to the opera. By the third month, there's a certain point where you're like, fuck it. I'm putting on my sweatpants, I'm unbuttoning my shirt, and we're watching 2.5 Men tonight, you know? I need some Big Bang Theory, okay? I've had enough opera. This is too much culture. And that's where burgers came from, okay? You can't eat tiramisu and scallions every day. Are scallions impressive? I don't actually know. Are they just onions? Are those shallots? Chat, help me. He gets mad about food. What do you mean how I get mad about food? Y'all brought it up first. Don't act like I'm the problem here when you guys brought up the food like, oh, burgers are so unhealthy. Your whole country's fat. Shut up. That's not why we're fat, okay? We're fat because we have options. Okay, we have all this culture to choose from, bringing us all these options for food. You guys have vinegar. That's it, okay? Vinegar and ketchup, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Of course you weigh less. You have nothing good to eat. Ooh, look how lean they are with their no good options for food. It's so bad that you guys had to trick yourselves into thinking that pickles are delicious. You're wrong. And you know why you think that? Because you don't have options. America has a compensation complex and little history. You have little culture. And I feel like I'm getting talked down to right now, and I don't like it, okay? The only thing you have is the movie industry, which is dope, by the way. Like, for a second, you actually made me feel bad. When I started it, I was like, America has a compensation complex. Aw, you have no history. Aw, no culture. No. And you're like, all you have is the movie industry. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Of course. More than makes up for it. Worth it. Who needs culture when you can watch a movie about culture? You know, you don't need to do things when you can just watch people do things. You don't need to go experience things if you can just watch a movie about it. Duh, okay? And people don't agree with me on that, but think about it. The whole education system is founded on you don't know a thing, but you go and learn that thing from a person who also probably didn't actually do the thing. I learned about nuclear fission. I've never seen it happen, but I understand the concept at a very, very, very basic level because I looked at it in a book and a teacher told me about it. That teacher's never seen nuclear fission. And why is that better? Because it was a book? Shut up.